if you've got kids, you need to listen to this. You know, you've heard me say this before, that most of the most important lessons in life, our kids are never going to learn in school. Never! So where are they going to learn them? Well, for better or worse, they're learning them in our homes because parents are teachers. And we want to teach them wisdom and goodness. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Sean, the family coach. Welcome to my truck and another episode of Live Drive. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is so needed in our society. Our kids need this so much. Our kids are never going to take a class on boundaries, on emotional boundaries, on healthy relationships. In fact, on a future Live Drive, I'm going to do a talk on estrangement and on extreme avoidance, because what we see now is a generation of kids that don't know how to set boundaries with others, and so they're just building walls with people. And you see all over the internet these little memes or things like, hey, cut people out of your life, or cut these toxic parents out of your life, or cut. And while there's a time and a place to do that, more importantly, what every healthy tween, teen, and adult needs to learn is how to establish healthy boundaries with people. If you don't have healthy boundaries in a workplace, it's going to be a hot mess. Healthy boundaries in romance, oh, you're done. And so, but why do so many adults suck at boundaries and setting healthy boundaries? Well, because they don't learn it in the home. And if they don't learn this from their parents, well, then where are they going to learn it? So on today's Live Drive, I'm just going to jump into it. It's going to be really quick, fast paced. And instead of me telling you you need boundaries, instead of me telling you, hey, here's a little quiz, and if this, take it, and if you don't, and you might not have boundaries in your home, instead I'm going to do something good here. You know, what they do with the American dollar at the mint is that they have the system to catch forgery. They have a system to catch false dollar bills, like people will print it and it's false money. What they do is that these people that specialize in this, they spend hours and hours and hours staring at actual dollar bills, $20 bills, $100 bills. They study it and they spend their time looking at the legit thing. They do not spend much time looking at the false counterfeit dollar. So they know what a good, healthy dollar looks like, so that the second they see something that's a forge, they know right away that's not right. And so on today's Live Drive, I'm just going to give you about 6 or 7 examples. This is an example of how to set healthy boundaries. And there's not one way to set boundaries. There's a gazillion ways to set healthy boundaries. And even what I'm going to do here, you may not like some of the things I say, and you might like some of them. But here's the theme I want you to really take away from is, one, if you haven't said something like what I'm about to say to you, it's probably a sign that you're really struggling in setting boundaries, and you actually might be leading and creating a boundaryless home. Woo! Boundaryless homes, not good. Don't want that. Lots of shady, bad stuff happens. And instead, I want you to hear me and really be empowered by me and by these words, and to have courage and have the wisdom to start building a beautiful home of boundaries and emotional boundaries. So let's start with this one. So what's so interesting is that in my work with clients all around the country and on the world, I do a lot of Zoom private sessions, and even occasionally I'll do phone calls. And what's so interesting is that I'll be having a session with somebody and talking about parenthood or about their kids, and these kids will barge in on their parents' Zoom calls, or barge in while they're on the phone with me and just start talking to the parents. No boundaries. And most of the time, these parents, they actually engage with the kid, which I find to be so shocking and hilarious at times. Do you see the humor in this? You're talking with a family coach about how to set boundaries, and during the Zoom call, your kid totally violates your boundaries and comes in, and you waste your time and money on the call. And isn't that weird? You see this? So here's an example of in the moment or even after the moment. Hey, honey, when I'm on the phone or on a Zoom call, I need you to understand that this is a boundary.
There's an 11-minute slowdown caused by crashes in 5 miles. You are still on the fastest route.
You're not allowed to talk to me, and I need you to be patient. and honor my boundaries. Now, some of you are thinking, oh, Sean, my kid will never listen to this. Well, you know what? I have a 5-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 16-year-old, and they are excellent at honoring my boundaries. Even the 5-year-old. Why? Because here's some tips. To build boundaries, it's actually good to use the word boundary, right? It helps them connect the dots in their brain. I'll repeat myself. Use boundaries just like it's a common sentence in the home vocabulary. 2, we're always teaching people how we want to be treated. So if you engage with somebody who's violating your boundaries, or do something nice for them right afterwards, you don't address the issue and help them see how it's affected you emotionally, you're actually teaching them to have a boundaryless life, and that you are a person with no boundaries, and you're teaching them that they don't need to honor the boundaries. Now, this is going to be bad teaching, because they're going to be getting teaching about boundaries from their teachers and from all the other people in society. So we want to teach our kids in a way to get them prepared for the real world. Here's another example. So yelling, snapping, very common in every home. How you respond really matters. So here's what you could say. Hey, I'm okay with you being upset, and you are free to yell. I don't want this in my living room right now. This is a boundary. And so if you want to act this way, I need you to please go to another room, or go to your room, and you can do that there. But this is not the time and the place for that. Okay, here's an example 2. Example number 3. Let's move on to this one. Is a kind of a popular cliche with parenting experts. I've been using it a lot with my 5-year-old, who is in this repetitive nagging stage where I'll tell her to do something or answer her question, and she will just repeat herself or get emotional because she's trying to wear me down. Here it is. Hey, I'll call her. Her name's Kenzie. Hey, Kenzie, you asked and I answered. Asked and answered. And so I'm not going to repeat myself. This is a boundary now, and if you keep asking me, I just want you to know I'm going to be ignoring you. Okay? There you go. A lot of these terms, you want to think of them as healthy ways of viewing like a magic wand, right? Like in the Disney movies, you have a magic wand. Some people will say, like, Sean, how do you do this? How did you get my kid to do that, or your kids? It's like you have a magic wand. Well, yeah, that's the good power of good emotional intelligence and good skills. And I wasn't born this way. I don't feel like there was very good boundaries in my childhood growing up. I learned this from books, from mentors, and now I'm here to share them with you. Okay, here's 2 more. A parent's bedroom is a private place, and there should be a physical boundary and an emotional boundary there. So if you have kids just barging into your room, that just doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right. So you might want to address it with something like this. Hey honey, I would love to talk with you about this, but this is not the time. This is a boundary I have. You cannot just come into my room like this. It's not allowed. And if you do this, then we're gonna have issues. This is a boundary, and if you'd like for me to come and talk with you, I need you to please knock first. So again, remember, we're always teaching people how we want to be treated. So again, if your kids are barging into your life, dishonoring boundaries, you have to first look at yourself. And that, what have you said or done to be a part of this or enable this behavior? And then lastly, here's a doozy. Here's a big general one. In all of my classes, I talk about the power of sharing your feelings in a healthy way with your kids. Super normal thing to do. Sharing feelings with human beings, and shockingly, so many adults, we don't share our feelings with our kids, or we don't do it effectively, or we don't know what to do if our kids do X, Y, and Z. So we want to help them understand that everything in the family is actually emotional. And so if you're trying to pep talk somebody into honoring your boundaries, it's not going to be effective. So let's say this. Let's say that there's it could be a gazillion things. Siblings dishonoring each other boundaries. They're just nagging you like you've made an answer to them about something. And then you say, no, this is my final decision, asked and answered. And you use some of these tools, and then just keep hounding you over and over, which is actually boundaryless. It's really painful. It's not fun. And so then you're going to be tempted to yell at them, punish them, scold them, pep talk them, psychologize them, threaten them, right? You've been there. I've been there a gazillion times, right? I got 3 freaking kids. And so when the time is right, you want to have this heart talk with them. When you help them understand, hey, sweetie, I'll just model it for you. Hey, can I talk to you right now? And I actually do this, by the way, and I'm doing this a lot with my 5-year-old because she's powerful and she's very aggressive. She wants what she wants. She's just in that stage of life, totally normal stuff. And so, love that about her. So, hey, honey, I just want you to know, like, you know when I told you to please stop asking me, and I said ask and answer, you remember when that happened? Yeah. I want you to know that, you know, when you didn't stop, it actually really hurt my feelings. And of course, age-appropriate words, that's a big general thing. And so the child then should be predictably shocked and surprised, because they don't understand that, like, that parents have feelings and that their parents' feelings can get hurt. And so the moral of the story is this: we want to set healthy boundaries with people, but then when they violate those boundaries and honor those boundaries, we want to communicate that to him. So communicate constantly. Hey, honey, can I talk with you? Yes. Hey, do you remember last night when I was tucking you into bed? This actually is a real life story. And I said asked and answered to you, and I told you to please stop asking me if you could stay up later, and I said no. You remember that? Yeah. Well, guess what? You went right to bed. This is a true story. And I just want you to know, I really love that. That really helps me to feel respected and honored. And I just want to say thank you for doing that, because you really listen to me, and I love you. This is me talking to a 5-year-old. Of course, I won't talk like that with a 16-year-old. Hey guys, I hope those were some helpful tips for how to build and establish healthy boundaries in your home. Hey, thanks for all you that are watching and waving in and saying things. Hey, if you'd like more support with your tweens, you can go to my website, Parenting Modern Teens. I have a lot of free stuff on there, a lot of cheap classes, a lot of great opportunities for me to support you, for you to put more tools in your toolbox. Hey, stay strong and be close and teach wisdom to everybody. Hey, thank you so much for the Zing experience, saying that's very helpful, man. Thank you so much. Cool. Have a great day, everybody. Much love. Bye.